Hey everyone, today I want to take you through just a basic overview of a Canvas course and a couple of different thoughts for when you lay out a course, as well as get into a little bit about editing pages. And I'll likely do another video completely on just editing a page because a page is really the backbone of a Canvas course. So right now I am sitting on the module section of one of my courses that I'm teaching right now. When you're taking a look at Canvas, I always tell people that the modules are really like a display case, right? I might have some items that I want to put on display. And the neat thing about Canvas is you can put these items on display in multiple modules without necessarily having to duplicate that. So imagine if it was a statue that I had in one display case. I can put that exact same statue in another display case, and it's not two separate statues. It's the same statue. It's just like saying, here's one display case, and over here I have a display case that maybe is generating like an image of it. It's almost like a shortcut to the same statue. So when you're looking at the modules, what I have here is my current week 6. I always recommend, and I think of this as like the home page of a Canvas module, a unit, a week 6 steps to completion. If I take a look at my week 6 steps to completion, it's a little bit more robust, probably because this is an online course, but most of the things that I'm going to ask the students to do, to read, to download, to link to, I put all of those on this page. So this is what a Canvas page looks like. It's very similar to just having a website. And if I edit this page, you're going to notice that I have my normal what you see is what you get editor, right? I can type in just like I'm doing Word. I can format it. I can use headings. I can use bullet points, etc. Here's the bullet points and lists. It really makes it nice for just kind of organizing that into a steps to completion. And I encourage people to do this, but don't get carried away in the instructions. So for example, in my week 6 here, I have them reading through a mini lesson. This mini lesson is another page. I'll show it in a second. I have some articles and some links. I have some video links that I'd like them to take a look at, and it says recommended, watch a few of these wiki how-to videos. So I have the links right there for them. It also says watch this Amazing Race video, and then I have links to the specific activities. Now look at these ones, the 5.2, 5.3, 6.1, and 6.2. Those activities are typically what I put in the modules. So if I go back over to my modules in week 6, you're going to notice here is the 5.1, the 5.2, the 5.3. Notice though that these are in week 5. They're also in week 6. The reason I have that is because I introduced this topic in week 5. It was like, hey, I want you to do this assignment. So for example, this 5.3 Horizon Report presentations. In the assignment, I have all of the instructions as well as other things they need in order to complete that assignment. I have the same thing listed in week 6. That way I can introduce it in week 5 while week 6 is hidden. And then when I open up week 6, they've got the same assignment right here. It's the exact same one. They're not completing a different one. They're linked together. So when a student goes in and submits it, it doesn't matter which version of that they hit. It's the same assignment. I only have it in 2 display cases because I want them to see it in 1 week and finish it in another week. And that's an optional thing. You don't necessarily have to do that. And some people, quite honestly, open all of their weeks and all of their things together at once. And what I mean by opening, if you take a look at my week 6, it is published. Everything in this week is also published. My week 7 is not published. If I click on the publish week 7 link, it is going to publish week 7, and by default it publishes everything in there. When I unpublish the week, these things don't change. The reason for that is if I publish a week, I can actually go in and say, hey, this week is published, but I don't want students to see this or this or this or this. right? So the green check mark is published things. If there's no green check mark, students can't see it. So if there's no green check mark on week 7, they can't even see the display case. It doesn't matter whether or not these things are published inside of week 7. The reason that we really talk about using the modules is just to control the access to content that students have. If we take a look at where these actual assignments live, for an instructor, it is under the Assignments tab. You could create all of your assignments in the Assignments tab, and I have all of mine created here, and there's 2 groups in here. I just haven't moved them around. It really is just for organization of the gradebook, and that's a separate topic as well. But my assignments are over here. Students can see an assignment when it's published, and you're going to notice all of these ones either aren't being used, there's some week 3 ones I decided not to use, or they're simply not published yet. Again, that publishing I handle with the module kind of interface. So a lot of people are probably used to, and especially Moodle users, we're probably used to something like this in week 7. And take a look in week 7. I've got an introduction video, then a steps to completion. I've got all of these labels. Here are assignments, a discussion assignment, as well as, well, it looks like I just have 2 discussions. I haven't rearranged week 7 yet. I've got some attachments. These are PDFs of articles. I've got links to places to go. I really find that module view, it can be useful. It's a quick way, like I can really quickly add an assignment or a quiz, a page, a discussion, whatever I want, external URLs, even external tools, which a lot of people might be using that are connected to their textbooks. But the problem that I have with that is not all of the links work right out of the box. For example, this Watty link, it's trying to load the page in here. The link is actually probably good. I'll check on it right now. The link is good, but Canvas is having trouble displaying that. So one option I would have in Canvas is to make that link open in an external site. So I could go down to this link, hit edit, and I'm going to load it in a new tab. Now there's all kinds of problems with loading things in new tabs, etc. But one of my biggest things is that it really just kind of takes students away from Canvas, opens it in a new tab, works just fine. The other problem though that I have with my module, the way that it is it's just got a lot of stuff with no context. The context I provide really comes in each assignment where the instructions are, as well as in my steps to completion. So originally when I was working in Moodle, my steps completion said watch the introduction video. Well, now a student has to click over and watch that introduction video, read through the chapters, participate in the discussion surrounding testing. Well, now they got to click back and go into that discussion and do whatever it is and then come back to the steps completion to see the next step. So what I recommend doing is writing your steps to completion, but then I'm going to show you 2 really handy features that are in, well, 3 technically, really handy features that are in your what you see is what you get editor. Wherever I have something like participate in the discussion surrounding testing, I use this link drop-down menu and I can go to course links. This allows me to go directly to an assignment. I haven't renamed this. This is kind of my next week, but I can go and find that assignment, whatever it's called, and I'm going to guess it's a discussion surrounding testing. And I don't see it off the top of my head, so I'm going to go into the discussions specifically and see if I can see what it was called. This is also one of the reasons I recommend renaming assignments like these 4.5s. It's just a lot easier to understand and find when you're looking through it. So here is the reflection discussion regarding testing. It's going to put a link there that will take students directly to that discussion. I have this Finish Your Amazing Race prototype. That's an assignment. but it's actually a discussion where I'm having them put it in, and I'm pretty sure it's 6.2, the Amazing Race prototype. Complete this next activity. I'm not going to link all of these things, but that is how you can add course links. You can have course links take you to specific quizzes, to specific assignments, to specific pages that exist within your Canvas installation or your Canvas course. The other thing that's really nice on this is if I take a look again at that, at my modules, I had a bunch of things at the end of week 7 that were really just PDFs that I wanted them to read, etc. And in my steps to completion, I probably have somewhere where it says, browse through the resources provided regarding digital literacy. Instead of doing it like that, I'm actually going to go ahead and put in why we need a new approach, data on children's media use, affinity spaces. I'm just going to quickly do that. I'm just going to shorten these for time. Affinity spaces, children, whatever they were called. Now, when you're working in here, the other button that's up by that link is a document button. If you just click on it, you will be able to upload a document. It's going to attach it there, and it does a really nice thing for student viewing. They can view the document embedded right there. They don't have to leave. It doesn't matter if it's a Word document or a PDF and whatever. Canvas will embed it, even Google Documents. It doesn't work as well with like Mac Pages. You want to save those things as PowerPoints or documents in order to do it. But you can upload it right there, or even better, if I already have these things in the course, they're already in the module, I can look for that PDF and say like why we need a new approach. I just searched digital in the documents and I can link that. I'm guessing that I named most of these documents to have the title in it. So here's affinity spaces, and there was probably one regarding children, data on children's media use. So those are the 3 documents that I have. You can do the same thing with a link, like take a peek at the Wadi Assistive Technology Initiative. This is just a regular external link. So when I'm doing this, I can just do external links. I'll go over here and copy the link and paste it there. So now I'm making an interactive steps to completion. Let's just save this. It's not published for students yet, so it doesn't have to be done. And you will see what I'm talking about. They can click on the discussion forum. It'll take them over to that discussion forum. They can click on the digital resources and it will open that digital resource in kind of a preview so they can read it. This one happens to be a PDF. They can read it right there. They can download it from here, or there's even a button right there where they can actually just click and it'll open up their download, file if they want to keep it some other way. So I really like using my steps to completion, and as I do that, it allows me to go back to these course modules and say, well, I don't need this thing linked here. I've got it. I don't need this one. I don't need this one. I don't need that Wadi link over here anymore because it's in my steps to completion. I don't need this title. I don't need the activities and assessments because that's really about the only thing I leave in here. What I'm going to end up doing as I finish up this week is I'm going to record a new video and I will put that video right in the steps to completion. Now, if you want to get really fancy with a YouTube video, and let me grab a YouTube video. Well, let me go to my YouTube video. Well, you can probably get it from there. Not youtube.com, YouTube, not YouTube, youtube.com. Oh my goodness. There we go. Let's go to youtube.com and I'm just going to go to my studio and grab the week 6 video that I have created already. If I click on this week 6 video, I could share the link and that's fine, but I like to actually view this thing on YouTube. And one of the reasons is in YouTube there is a share button that has embed. And I can copy all of this material and actually go to that week 7, edit the steps to completion, And one of my favorite, that third tool I was talking about, is at the very end of the line. It's this little cloud, and you can paste embed code directly into that cloud, and it's going to embed that right on top of the page. So now I don't even need this watch the video introduction. And I can use other things, and kind of build this out so that the students, when they are looking for what do I do, they've got one stop, they can hit that. It gives a little bit of kind of context, like, hey, do this. It kind of gives some order, and they can link directly to those things. Now, again, I really recommend, if you're going to have an assignment, like here's the Amazing Race prototype, make sure that you do the same types of things with your assignment. This is where I put all the instructions, links, and resources needed for that, right? And it allows this to be very modular. I can take that assignment and put it in a different week and not have to worry about copying and pasting all the assignment instructions. So hopefully that gives you kind of an idea how you can really improve the student experience by using pages and cleaning up your modules. Some of the other ideas that people will use, instead of doing modules in units or modules in weeks, they will do modules where here's all of your assignments, here's all of your quizzes, here's all of your downloads and resources, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I really strongly encourage, even if you're going to do it that way, use a steps to completion where you can go in and say, hey, right now I want you to do this assignment and put a link to it, and do this, activity, this quiz, and put a link to it. When you're doing that, I think you're really improving the student experience. I also want to point out, on my course, you're going to notice that I hide the assignments from students. The only way they can get to them is through the modules or through the steps to completion. And one final thing, using that same idea, my homepage is actually a homepage. It's just like any other page. It's just a page that has, in this case, links that will take me. If I want to go see the week 7 steps to completion as a student, it takes me right to the steps to completion, and here it is. The students very rarely even have to go into this module view because I have everything laid out for them. Now, there's a lot of other ways to do this. This isn't the only way. If you need help or are looking for more information on how you can create these types of pages, please let me know. But if you're looking at a week and you're like, well, I don't have any page here, remember, you can go to that module and you can create a new assignment. You can create a new quiz. You can create a new page right from this. I just need a name, like here's a sample page in week 7. Just give it a name and add it. Since I'm talking about that, if you're moving from Moodle, you probably have a lot of pages that you can clean up. I don't let students see the entire view of list of all pages. This is just for me, but if you notice, over here is where the pages actually live. The assignments is where the assignments actually live. The quizzes and discussions, that's where those things live. So if I really want to delete completely a page and never see it again, like that sample page I just did, I have to go into this pages and delete it from here. Removing something from a module does not remove it from your course. It just removes it from the published area. If you have assignments hidden, even if I go into week 7 and say like, oh, I'm going to delete this discussion regarding testing, it doesn't delete that discussion. That discussion is still in my list of all discussions. I have it hidden from students. These are just where they're stored, right? So I can go back to my modules. In week 7, I actually wanted to have that displayed there. I'm going to go to my discussions. There's still that week 7 discussion, evaluating, reflection around testing. Later, I'm going to go through and rename these things so it says stuff like 7.1, and 7.2, just to make it easier to find for myself, also for students. Hopefully that helps you get a really quick overview of the power of modules and a kind of a quick view into how pages can work in conjunction with modules, your assignments, and everything in order to make a student experience that I think will be that they will appreciate very much. So thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, please let me know.